Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're doing another 8-4 Battle for Zendikar draft. Actual tough pick here. There's good cards in here, all over the place. But I think it's really between Ugin's Insight and Grip of Desolation. It's probably Grip, because Grip is just so versatile in this format. Besides the fact that it exiles a creature and a land, so it already gives you full on up to 2 processes, which is great. It exiles Awaken, and it exiles any creature. So I think it's probably Grip. I think Ugin's Insight is a great card too, but Grip just seems like such a powerhouse 6-drop most of the time in this format. That I think we got to first pick it. But I did want to try out Ugin's Insight. I don't think it's as good as Grip of Desolation. Okay. Well, in the last draft, a couple people mentioned how I completely overlooked Deathless Behemoth. I love the card. I wish I had said something so you guys knew that I absolutely love this card. I think it's super strong. Big fan of it. It may actually just be the pick here. Although Ulamog's Reclaimer, that feels like an amazing Grip of Desolation card. Get back Grip of Desolation. I mean, it just feeds it so perfectly. This might actually be a Reclaimer pick. Deathless Behemoth is insane, though. 6 mana, 6/6 Vigilance is just fantastic. But I guess the question is, do I want to commit to 2 color right away? I just think Reclaimer is pretty insane. Getting back Grip of Desolation can really not be overlooked, especially since the Grip directly feeds the Reclaimer. I think I'm actually going to take the Reclaimer here. I think Deathless Behemoth is insane, though. I don't want you guys to think I don't like that card. I just think I want to try out Reclaimer. Okay, so choices here. I think Carrier Thrall's great. Transgress the Mind seems like a good card to play with Reclaimer as well. I probably just want the Clutch of Currents. I think Mist Intruder is more likely to go late. It's not a super high pick, but it does also feed the Reclaimer, which is nice. But I think I just want the Clutch here. Clutch is pretty awesome. I've been really impressed with this card in general. So we'll pick that here. I do think Carrier Thrall is pretty awesome too, though. But I think Clutch is just more versatile, more useful. Okay, a bit of a miss here. So let's just take the best card that I think we could realistically play. And that's actually kind of difficult. Could be Processor Assault. I don't really love this card that much. I don't think it's that great. Processing to deal 5 damage to a creature at sorcery speed is really not my idea of insanity. I could just take Gideon's Reproach, which is a good removal spell. Blade Master, I really don't want to dip into 2 colors right now. I'd probably just take the Reproach. I don't think Royal Mage's Trick is all that insane. Yeah, I think Reproach seems like a actual fine pickup here. Much more exciting than Dutiful Return or Dispel. Okay, so now we have Oracle of Dust, Mist Intruder in blue, Voracious Knoll in black, and Encircling Fissure in white. I actually like the Encircling Fissure. I like that you can make a 2/2, block with it, and it won't take combat damage. I think this card's actually pretty nice. This is not a 3-color combination I want to do. If you've heard me talk about 3-color before, basically I want one of my main colors to be green if I'm going to go 3-color. And the 3rd color I just want to be a splash is typically how it goes. I could just take Mist Intruder here. I don't think it's that great of a card. I think Encircling Fissure is much better. I think Grip of Desolation is a difficult card to splash, though, if I do end up in blue-white. I think I'm going to take the Mist Intruder and hope that I can make a blue-black processing deck work. I may not be able to, though. Prism Array, not that insane. Cluster and Nightwatch seems fine. Keeps us in black, which I would like to be for the Grip. It's not an insane card, but a 4/5 is like a pretty good body. So I think it's better than the Ghostly Sentinel, especially since as of now, I'd prefer to be in blue-black. I think there's a reasonably high probability that I have to end up in white if black gets completely cut. But I'm going to try and stay in it if I can. Some good green. Well, Scythe Leopard is like the only insane green card. Nirkana Assassin is fine. I'd probably just take the Altar's Reap. It's good if I end up with some token producers, which I very easily could in blue. And it's just good in response to removal. It seems fine. Keeps us in black. I don't actually love the Assassin that much anyway, although it is an ally. But we'll take the Altar's Reap here. Well, there's Beastmaster, which always goes late, surprisingly. I just love the card. I think it's great. I'd probably just take the Cascade, which seems fine. Seems like a fine pickup. Alright, I'll take the Assassin now. I don't love it. Good red cards. I think Sure Strike's just phenomenal. One of those cards that I probably just overlooked in the first couple drafts, but now I think is just amazing. We'll take the Assassin, though. That's fine. Mindraker, sure. I don't love it, but certainly playable. God, that's a late Territorial Behemoth. I like it more than the Mortuary Mire at the very least, so we'll take it. All right. Nightwatch number 2, I guess so. I mean, they're fine finishers. I guess I can take the Trick. I think LSV was the one that pointed out that the fact that you can use it offensively really should not be overlooked. Like, typically this card is used defensively. This type of card is used defensively. So, all right, I'll take the Voracious Null. I think Ondu Greathorn's much better, but I want to cut black pretty hard. I want to make blue-black work, if at all possible. Mostly because I just think Grip of Desolation is so strong and Ulamog's Reclaimer is so strong that we can hopefully get some more of these. But I admit it did not look great after the first couple picks for blue-black. Might be able to capitalize going this direction, though. I think there's a decent chance. Even if we don't end up getting it in Pack 3 so much, getting it in Pack 2 really should not be overlooked. I think Windrider Patrol is very strong. We can place Clutch of Currents in the 1-drop slot just because I don't know where to place Awaken cards yet. I feel like I want to always place them in the more expensive slot because that's really where you want to cast Awaken. But, I mean, that's not to say I'm not in a pinch going to be casting it for 1. So really, here it's between Incubator Drone and Windrider Patrol, and this is actually a reasonably difficult pick because I think both of these cards are pretty phenomenal, and our 4-drop slot is looking a little bit barren at the moment. Incubator Drone also plays better with both Voracious Null and this is a 3-drop and Altar's Reap, but I think Windrider Patrol is just a really powerhouse 5-drop card, and I would play it over one of my Colosseum Night Watches, so I'm just going to take it because I think it's better than Incubator Drone. All right, Breaker of Armies, a little bit expensive. Merc Strider is fine. I might just want the Sludge Crawler because of the Ingest, which feeds into, currently I guess, just Ulamog's Reclaimer and Mindraker, which isn't that much. Breaker of Armies, a little bit too expensive. I don't love Merc Strider. I don't love Sludge Crawler either, though. I might actually love Sludge Crawler more than Merc Strider, though. I actually don't know yet. Kind of on the fence about that. I do like the high rewards of the mid to late game. The fact that you can do stuff early with this, and in the late game it comes up big too. There is Sheer Drop. I don't know how likely we are to splash yet. I think it's to be honest, it's not super likely that I want to splash white unless I'm seeing some Evolving Wilds pretty shortly here. So I can take the Sludge Crawler, get another way to feed processing, which I think there's quite a bit of in blue-black, or at least enough where I can justify a Sludge Crawler pick here. I don't love the Merc Strider, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I don't love the Sludge Crawler either, but I think the Sludge Crawler is very likely better. I do, on the other hand, love Adverse Conditions. I think this card's pretty awesome. This might not be the right deck for it. We have so many 5-drops currently. Even if you don't count the Clutch, which makes the Kozilek's Channeler less exciting. I'd probably just take Adverse Conditions over another Mindraker, I think. Mindraker is pretty much just like a processing hill giant, whereas this gives me some ramp fodder as well as buys me time. Like I said, though, I don't love... This is better in tempo, I think, than like what we're shaping up to be, which is more control. But I still think it's more powerful than Chandler or Mindraker in a vacuum. So we'll take it. Swarm Surge, don't love that. I really don't like Skitterskin in this deck. This is kind of a... It's kind of just a lost cause in general, sort of pack for us. I really don't like Skitterskin in this build currently. We'd have to get quite a few more early plays for me to want Skitterskin. It really is more of just a blue-red card. I guess I can take Swarm Surge. I'm really not likely to play it, but if we were for some reason to end up with some more token producers, I guess it could be played. They're both like equally unexciting in our deck. And I just don't want to splash a Cliffside Lookout, and I don't want to take anything else here, so I guess we'll take the Swarm Surge. Alright, Miasma seems like a fantastic control card for us. God, but there's the Nullifier too, and we can actually process in this deck. Man, that's tough. This deck really wants both. I think we take the Nullifier just because the fact that I can actually counterspell something with it should not be overlooked. Or just a Flash Flying 2/3 is not to be overlooked either. It really is a bummer that it's in the same pack as this Miasma. Because, like I said, I think Miasma is shaping up to just be a fantastic card in our deck currently. I think there's actually an argument to take the Miasma over the Nullifier here. We just look so controlling. I can bring it back with Reclaimer. I think I'm actually going to go Miasma. That's a tough one. I want the Nullifier. I just look at this deck. This deck could not scream Rising Miasma anymore. So now we can take Spawning Bed or Coral Helm Guide. I feel like I have so much late game stuff going on, I don't need the Spawning Bed, even though it does synergize well with the Swarm Surge. To be honest, I don't even want to play the Swarm Surge. I think we have to take Coral Helm Guide. We really need some more early plays. Even if it doesn't work that well with Miasma, it doesn't matter. If we don't end up with enough early game plays, we're not going to be able to get to our late game. I think Chandler and Oracle of Dust are pretty fine cards in general, but we just need to do things early or we're going to get squashed. Okay. Foil Bring to Light. I know Bring to Light, it's probably just bottomed out at this point, but I might as well check to see if the foil is worth anything. I imagine it's not, but I might as well look. Yeah, it's only worth 2 tickets to 1 vendor, so that's just nothing. I'd probably just take Anticipate here. I don't necessarily need another Mindraker at the moment, even though Mindraker's fine. I want to play Anticipate. I want to give this card a chance. I haven't gotten a chance to. It feels like our deck needs to do some more early things anyway. All right, I think I actually take Myers Malice here. It's not a terribly exciting card, but neither is a second Altar's Reap, and Brilliant Spectrum's just not good, so Myers Malice it is. All right, Incubator Drone Table. That's actually fantastic. I love this card. And there's really no other pick for us anyway, so it seems correct. All right, Tabled Mercstrider. I'll definitely take it now. We have a couple Ingesters. Could end up with some more. Probably just take Dispel for sideboard. Don't love it. Pathway Arrows for sideboard, sure. Do have an Assassin. Don't have any way to gain life currently. I'm actually glad Salvage Drone tabled. I think it's something our deck probably wants. We actually have the processing cards now, so having the Ingesters is going to be pretty helpful. Actually, I went full art land. Someone can play Kitesail Scout. We open Felidar Sovereign, which is only a bummer because it's such a strong card. Like, I do have the Gideon's Reproach. Is there any possible way? It's just double white is going to be so hard. This card is so good. This card is so good. 4/6 Vigilance Lifelink with ability to just win the game. So good. But I honestly, I don't think we can take it. I think we could take the Tide Drifter. It's a good way to buy time. Doesn't synergize that well with everything, but we do have a few devoid guys. Actually, we have enough devoid guys where I might just want it. Otherwise, this is second incubator drone, which I think is fine. I'm actually going to take the Tide Drifter. We look like a deck that succeeds in the late game. Admittedly, not extremely well, but well enough where I'm going to take Tide Drifter, hope to wheel incubator drone, more likely wheel salvage drone. Okay, we can take counterspell here. This doesn't well, I was going to say this doesn't really strike me as a Dominator drone deck so much, but it does have Ingest. I guess actually Horribly Awry is probably what we want since it feeds processing. Yeah, I think that is correct. I don't know how good this one is. I probably like the they have to pay 4 mana, 1 more. But we'll take Horribly Awry. It seems fine. This is our 22nd card. Currently, I'd like to cut probably Voracious Knoll, probably Nirkana Assassin. Both of those I would prefer to find better cards for. But we'll take Horribly Awry here. I think that's fine. Second Tide Drifter, second Merc Strider. I can take another Tide Drifter. They are fine blockers. Just basically hoping to find some better cards. Jeez. Emissary's strong. It's like the only actual... I think we take it. I'm not taking anything on color here. Yeah, we're absolutely... We unfortunately, we got cut all 3 packs. So I guess I should have played white. Sadly. But we're 100% getting cut. Which sucks, but... nothing to be done. So I guess I'll just hate the best card, which is probably the Steward if somebody makes that work. Guess I can take Oracle of Dust. It's more expensive stuff, which I don't love. But it does process, so I guess we'll take it. Nothing else. There is nothing else. All right, Incubator Drone, Culling Drone. Incubator Drone's better. Culling Drone feeds into our process. How many processors do we have? We have Mindraker, Merc Strider, Reclaimer, and Oracle. That's not that many. I probably just want the drone. I think drone is definitely better than, or I should say Incubator Drone's definitely better than Culling Drone. Culling Drone has the added bonus of being good with Tide Drifter, but the same argument goes for Incubator Drone too. And I think we have enough early game where I can capitalize on that. Scour from Existence versus Wavewing Elemental. We're a little bit finisher light. So I think we take Wavewing Elemental. It's another way to end games that admittedly I don't love as a finisher. I don't really like this card, but we're just so we're finisher light that I think we have to take the Elemental. All right, we'll take a second Salvage Drone. I think they're fine. I probably can find a way to make them work too. They're actually kind of good with Altar's Reap. Draw 2, then loot. I kind of like that. Although I guess you have to sacrifice, so you have to loot first. But loot, then draw 2 is not bad either. Emissary's not going to happen. No 3 drops? That's a bit awkward. Yeah, and we're definitely running 18 lands. So this deck did not pan out the way I wanted it to. I don't know what the best of these cards is. Greathorn's actually a pretty good beater. I might hate the... Well, I probably hate the Greathorn over the Champ. They're both decent, though. I mean, the Champ works better for the allied strategy. All right, another Merc Strider. It's fine. Like I said, I really don't love the card, but it just seems fine. It's actually not bad with double Tide Drifter. We actually have a good deck for Tide Drifter. We have quite a few Devoid guys. Guess I'll hate another Greathorn. We could have ended up in a really good, probably really good white. Well, definitely white, but maybe white-black instead of blue is where we were supposed to be. Although we ended up with a lot of blue cards. So I think black wasn't open. Maybe blue-white Yeah, I think blue-white, ultimately. I married a Grip of Desolation, and it came back to haunt me this time around. It really did. But, I mean, this deck's going to work. Like I said, we're finisher light, which is a bummer, but nothing to be done. We have Windrider Patrol, Wavewing Elemental as our main sources of finishing. Colostria Night Watches are just because they're a big body, I think they can get there too. We probably don't end up running 2 of them. So we're a little bit of blue-black control. We have to make 4 cuts. So I think we cut a Night Watch. Then we still have Night Watch Patrol, Wavewing Elemental as finishers, which is fine. Keep in mind we also have Miasma as a potential creature, Mire's Malice, and Clutch of Currents. I may not actually, I don't know if I main deck the Mire's Malice here. I think it's a better sideboard card, and we have more than enough playables as it is. So we still have Miasma and Clutch of Currents, which are extra creatures, not to be overlooked. I'm going to run the counter spell. I want to run Anticipate. Maybe I don't run double Merc Strider just because I don't love the card. Although, yeah, I think I actually like Mind Rake. I'd rather diversify and run 1 Mind Raker, 1 Merc Strider. I think that's actually right. Merc Strider's just one of those cards that's really unimpressed me. I think the extra toughness on Mind Raker is more often going to be more useful because I bet a lot of the times I'm not going to be able to process with either, so I'd rather have the extra toughness. But keeping like 1 in the deck just for that potential bounce, I don't think is irrelevant. So I just need to make 1 more cut. Having double Tide Drifter is actually synergizing really well with Miasma. That means if I had them both out, I could potentially play Miasma and all of my Scions would survive, which is pretty nice, actually. So 1 more cut. I could cut a Salvage Drone. I don't think the card's insane, but having 4 2-drops or less that feed processing is really nice. I just don't think they're great. I mean, they are 1-mana 1/1s when it comes down to it. I think I want to keep the Altar's Reap, though. I think that could really come up big for us. Get some card draw. I don't want to cut Anticipate either. I kind of wanted to give this card a try. And I think Adverse Conditions is fine, too. I don't want to cut Waving Elemental. Like I said, I think our deck actually needs this. All right, I think I cut a Salvage Drone. I think it's a fine card, and Ingest is something our deck kind of wants, but when it boils down to it, it's a 1-mana 1/1. Like, at least Sludge Crawler's good in the late game, as well as the early game. And maybe Coral Helm Guide gets cut for the Salvage Drone. Salvage Drone feeds our 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have 4 process cards. I guess that's not that many. Coral Helm Guide is also good in the late game, making stuff unblockable. Our guys are kind of already evasive, though, especially our finishers, which makes me a bit more interested in the Salvage Drone. All right, I changed my mind. I'm going to go Drone over Guide. I think Guide's a better card in general, but this deck actually strikes me as one that gets pretty high reward from both processing, feeding processing, and playing devoid cards. All right, let's bring in the Skyline Cascade, and then from there, just much more blue than black. Could actually play the Swarm Surge. Doesn't seem terrible. I think not, though. All right, we got less than a minute, so I'm going to go, I guess, 10-7. We really need the blue early. And 7 black is enough to get to our double black for grip, I think. Okay. Here's the deck. I don't really like this deck all that much. I think it could have ended up a lot better if I'd ended up in a different color, but this is how I got to run it. So we're going to try it like this and we shall see you round 1.